Archangel Michael says, it's an emergency. God says, your case is closed and you won't believe why. I beg you, don't ignore this. Archangel Michael says, the heavens are trembling as your name is spoken today in divine judgment. What was once pending, delayed, and tangled in spiritual warfare has now reached its final decree. The decedent have been sealed and the reason will leave you speechless. You are being pulled into something you didn't see coming, not by force, but by divine alignment. While others were trying to sabotage your destiny, heaven was quietly finishing the final pages of your spiritual case. You were not supposed to know until this very moment, but now you must hear it. The angels are not whispering anymore, they're sounding the alarm. What was once open-ended in your life, what you prayed over and cried about in secret, has now been closed with divine authority. But the reason is what will shift the ground beneath your feet. This is not a warning, it's a verdict. There are beings watching your every move from both realms, and this message is reaching you right on time. You are not reading this by accident, heaven demanded this be revealed now. You may have been under judgment by others, accused, mocked, misunderstood, but those opinions were irrelevant the moment God reviewed your heart, not just your history. Your enemies only saw your flaws. Heaven saw your growth. Something happened behind closed spiritual doors, a divine council, a meeting in the realms. Your name was spoken, your case was opened, your records were reviewed, and then it was sealed shut. You won't believe who fought for you on the other side. Your cries didn't go unheard, they were stored, archived, and used as testimony. The pain you endured became evidence, not for your punishment, but for your rescue. And now the decision is final, you are cleared. Archangel Michael says many forces wanted your downfall. They worked overtime to trap you in a cycle of pain, betrayal, and confusion. But none of them calculated the strength of your light. You see, while they were counting your mistakes, God was counting your endurance. While they were tracking your failures, heaven was recording your intentions. And when both lists were placed on the sacred table, the verdict shocked even the accusers. The spiritual courtroom fell silent when God stood and said, "Enough." That one word sent shockwaves through both realms. What followed next is the reason you need to sit down and breathe. Because the explanation is not what you expect. Heaven closed your case not because you proved them wrong but because you remained true when it made no sense to do so. You kept your soul clean in a dirty world. You chose peace when you could have chosen revenge. You walked away when you could have destroyed. God saw everything. The moments you almost gave up. The tears you dried before anyone could see. The way you held on to your dignity when others tried to rip it from you. That is why your case is closed. Not because you won but because you endured. Someone tried to keep the case open. They pleaded, "Look at what they've done. They don't deserve a miracle." But your defense wasn't words, it was your silent strength. And that was louder than any accusation. The person who tried to delay your blessings is about to find out they failed. Because what was blocked has now been released. The delay has been reversed. And the heavens are moving at a speed they haven't used in a long time. Just for you. You are no longer in spiritual limbo. You are now in acceleration. The favor that was paused is being rerouted like a river breaking through a dam. The moment is so heavy with breakthrough, even your dreams may not fully grasp what's about to unfold. Archangel Michael says, I was present when God made the final stamp, the seal glowed with divine fire and your name burned brightly in the light. It was no longer a file, it became a flame. Every tongue that rose against you spiritually has now been silenced. Every contract against your life has been shredded in the realm unseen. You don't owe anyone an explanation anymore. The verdict is your new identity. You have angels assigned to guide you now. Not just protect. These angels are specialists. They don't come to comfort, they come to position. They will guide you into rooms where you were once locked out. And let me tell you something powerful. The very people who helped open your case years ago, those who whispered about you, laughed behind your back, and spread rumors, they will now be forced to watch your elevation. I didn't see this coming. Neither did you. As what makes this moment so sacred. This is not karma. This is divine restoration. And it is irreversible. God said, they paid the price in pain. Now they shall collect in peace. The energy in your life is about to shift. The spiritual storms are subsiding. The anxiety you felt for months, sometimes years, it's lifting because the resistance has been broken. Archangel Michael says, you've been protected from battles you never even knew were coming. We stopped arrows you never saw. We rerouted disasters before they reached you. There is a person who was speaking against you even while pretending to support you. Their words had power, but only for a time. The time is now over. Their influence had been stripped. Heaven knows who they are. You're about to walk into a room that was designed for someone else, but heaven redirected it for you. You'll be honored in the presence of those who thought you'd never rise again. That is part of the divine closure. Something you lost will be returned to you, but in a form far greater than what was taken. You will look back and weep, not in sorrow, but in shock, because the justice is more beautiful than the pain ever was. The calendar may say it's just another day, but in the spirit, this is your day of closure. What's ahead won't just feel like a blessing. It will feel like a rebirth. God says your tears build a bridge. Your loyalty became your weapon. Your surrender became your access code to a higher level. And because of that, your case is no longer under review. It is redeemed. Someone important is going to call your name in public. They won't even know why they're doing it. It will feel spontaneous. But it will be heaven's orchestration. Be ready. Be dressed. Be positioned. It's coming. A whisper in your spirit. That feeling that something big is unfolding. You're not imagining it. That's heaven knocking. That's the ripple of divine authority in motion. That's your spirit recognizing its release. Archangel Michael says this moment is holy. Don't rush past it. Let it settle. Let it sink into your spirit. You are not who they said you were. You are not broken. You are not forgotten. You are chosen. Take a breath right now, because from this moment forward, you are walking in final favor. The case is closed. The blessing is open. The path is clear. And as this message seals into your soul, remember this final note. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. Your next steps will be guided. You're not alone. The emergency is over. The breakthrough is here. Now walk forward in faith. The heavens are waiting for you to receive it. Archangel Michael says the closing of your case did not just affect you. It sent a shockwave across the very fabric of your destiny. Threads that were tangled for years began to unravel in seconds. The enemies that had gathered in the shadows suddenly lost all permission to speak your name again. They tried to prolong the outcome. They tried to add more false evidence to drag you down further. But heaven looked beyond the lies and saw your truth, your essence. That's why this case is now closed, because God Himself refused to allow one more delay. From the outside, people may think nothing has changed. But in the spirit realm, everything is different now. Where you once felt blocked, you will feel a divine flow. Where you once heard silence, you will now hear instruction. Pay attention. The very thing you thought would break you, God used it to build your next level. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the rejection, it wasn't in vain. All of it became fuel for a restoration so massive it will erase every scar you've ever tried to hide. You're being called into a new identity. Not one shaped by suffering, but one formed through sacred survival. The heavens didn't just free you. They are crowning you. You didn't ask for a title, but you're about to walk in one. Here's a table being prepared. Not just any table, but your table in front of those who never thought you'd stand again. They'll be seated. You'll be standing. And you'll know this is what divine justice feels like. Archangel Michael says, every time you kept going when you wanted to quit, every time you chose silence instead of vengeance, you were riding your freedom with your own behavior. Your obedience unlocked your vindication. And now, the reward begins. Not in small pieces, not in subtle signs, but in supernatural outpouring. You'll see confirmation after confirmation. Conversations you were never part of will bring your name up in favor. People will start opening doors without knowing why. You are not who you were last year, or even last month. You are now spiritually upgraded. The downloads from heaven will come fast. Pay attention to dreams, signs, and encounters. They would look obvious, but they will carry the weight of glory. You will begin to notice strangers smiling at you without cause. Children looking at you with awe. Random people speaking blessings over you. These are not coincidences. They are echoes of the verdict that just reached your atmosphere. Archangel Michael says, you are now protected by decree. Any harm that approaches you will fall before it can reach. This isn't temporary. This is divine law. You will feel lighter, clearer, more grounded. That's the result of spiritual burden being lifted from your soul. Your mind will stop racing. Your heart will start trusting again. You've entered the season of divine quiet and confident strength. And here's the part that will shake you. Someone who wronged you, someone who laughed while you suffered, is about to seek you out. Not to hurt you, but to confess, to apologize, to admit what they did and how it torments them now. Do not fear this. Their confession is not for your pain. It's your confirmation. Heaven is using them as proof that your case was reviewed, judged, and closed in your favor. Your guilt is your evidence. God did not just vindicate you. He validated you. And there's a difference. Vindication silences the enemy. Validation blesses you in public. You are now free to dream again, to love again, to believe again. What once felt risky will now feel right. The things you feared will begin to fade. The people who left will be replaced by those sent straight from above. You may not even feel ready, but readiness is not a requirement for divine favor. Surrender is. And you've done that. That's why God said now you'll notice time bending for you, opportunities appearing in clusters. Delays dissolving. It's because you're no longer being tested. You're being trusted. You're not being given another chance. You're being given a new timeline, a new beginning that doesn't carry the weight of your past. The divine core treaded the files. All records of failure erased. You are not starting over. You're starting above. You've earned elevation through endurance. What others tried to bury you with became the soil for your rebirth. Archangel Michael says the enemy didn't know what to do when you didn't break. They assumed your silence was weakness, but heaven knew it was sacred restraint. Now the silence breaks, but this time it breaks in your favor. Your voice will rise again. But now it will carry authority. Your presence will shift rooms because your spirit has been recharged with divine clarity. Doors you didn't knock on will open. Rooms you weren't invited to will now request your presence. People who ignored you will look for you, not out of guilt, but because God has turned your name into a magnet for grace. And here's something you must hold close. Not everyone can come with you now. Some people were only present during the trial. They have no role in your elevation. Let them go. Do not resist the pruning. New alliances are forming. Soul connections will appear without effort. You will feel recognized like someone's been waiting for you. They have. Heaven has assigned new people to your new chapter. Archangel Michael says your life is no longer a question mark. It is now an exclamation of divine intervention. You will cry, not from pain, but from overwhelming beauty. The kind of beauty that only comes after storm, after survival, after the silence has passed. You are no longer invisible. The covering has been lifted. The divine court closed your case and stamped your destiny with favor, protection, and fulfillment. There is no going back, only going forward. Not walking, blighting, the hoping, going. You are free. You are redeemed. You are ruined. Let this message be your witness. Let this moment be your mark. Your story is no longer a prayer waiting for an answer. It is a prophecy stepping into manifestation. Archangel Michael says heaven is finished debating. It's already done. And one last sacred reminder. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. Now breathe in peace. Your case is closed. Your future is open and you are walking into everything they said you'd never have. Archangel Michael says the moment God declared your case closed, a sound was heard in the heavens, a vibration that echoed like thunder across every dimension. You didn't hear it in the natural, but your soul felt it. That sudden shift in your atmosphere, that was the sound of chains snapping. You may have been unaware, going about your day, still carrying burdens in your chest. But while you were sleeping, a courtroom of light lit up and your name, yes, your name was brought to the center of divine attention. Not to accuse, not to condemn, but to redeem. Do you understand how rare this is? Cases like yours, with so much spiritual weight, are not easily closed. They linger. They loop. They haunt, but your file has been removed, reviewed, and erased by fire. The angels who stood as witnesses wept as they saw the cost of what you endured. Your suffering was not invisible. Every silent scream, every suppressed breakdown, every lonely prayer in a darkened room, it became a testimony louder than thunder. The devil had a case against you, and yes, it looked strong. He came with records. He brought receipts. He even dragged your past into the light. But what he didn't expect was your transformation. While he gathered accusations, God gathered your moments of surrender. While he collected your sins, God collected your sacrifices. And when the balance was measured, the result was irrefutable. You belong to the light. Heaven shouted in unison, "Enough is enough." Your delays, of it, your torment, shut down. The silence sabotaged behind your back. Exposed. The weapons they formed melted in midair. Archangel Michael says, there are conversations that were had about you. Schemes. Lies, deception. They reached the throne, and instead of being used against you, they were redirected and sent back to sender. The people who plotted thought they were clever. They even smiled in your face, convinced you were too broken to rise. But what they didn't know was that God was waiting for them to finish, so he could rewrite the ending. Your tears became holy ink. Your pain became sacred parchment. Your endurance became your signature, and with it, heaven signed your release papers. God didn't just close your case, he sealed it in gold. There is a scroll in the spirit now, marked with your name. Not as a warning, not as a punishment, but as a divine recognition. You've graduated in the spirit realm. You will begin to see this manifest in your life in unexpected ways. People will start treating you differently. Not because you've changed your looks or your status, but because your energy now carries divine authority. Archangel Michael says, what was once unreachable is now being drawn toward you. What was blocked is now attracted. Your very presence is a force. You are walking with angels now, and they are not subtle. These are not passive, comforting angels. These are warrior-level angels, the kind that make demons flee before your foot even hits the floor in the morning. You were once a target, and now you are a threat. That's why things will begin to shift around you. Don't be afraid if people leave. Some were only there because you were spiritually suppressed. Now that you're rising, they won't recognize you, and that's fine. You weren't meant to carry everyone into this chapter. The blessings coming will not trickle. They will pour. They will rush in like a flood after a long drought, and you won't have to chase them. They will chase you. You'll be sitting somewhere ordinary when something extraordinary happens. A call, a message, a stranger with a word, a divine appointment that opens a new reality, and you remember this moment. You'll whisper, "This is what the angel meant." Your health will shift. Your relationships will recalibrate. Your money will reorganize itself. Even your voice will carry a new weight. You are not just evolving. You are becoming untouchable in the spirit. Archangel Michael says, you are now cloaked in spiritual immunity. The darts may fly, but none will reach. The slander may rise, but it will fall flat. And someone, yes, someone, is about to regret ever speaking your name with poison. Not because you'll retaliate, but because heaven already answered on your behalf. You don't need to explain yourself anymore. You don't need to fight. The battle has already been concluded in a higher court. What's next will feel unreal. Doors will open where there were once only wool. People of influence will suddenly notice you. Not realizing it's not them. It's God who's spotlighting you. Everything you've lost is returning in upgraded form, the friendship that betrayed you, replaced with covenant-level loyalty. The opportunity that slipped away, returned with greater visibility. The love that winded you, replaced with something pure, honest, eternal. You'll look in the mirror and see it. That glow. That stillness. That confirmation. You shifted dominions. You're no longer living in maybe. You're now residing in yes and done. And while others are still waiting for approval, still begging for recognition, you'll be walking in divine endorsement. Archangel Michael says, you are not hidden anymore. You are heaven's announcement. Let them look. Let them wonder. Let them talk. Nothing can reverse what God has spoken. And now, one final time, let this message sit deep in your spirit. The case is closed. The delay is broken. The heavens have moved. And you, yes you, are finally free. Archangel Michael says, from this point forward, the road you walk is no longer covered in shadows. The fog has lifted. The heaviness that used to follow you like a silent echo has vanished, replaced by divine clarity and unseen hands clearing the path ahead. For years, the spiritual warfare surrounding you was thick and relentless. It felt like you were fighting enemies you couldn't see, obstacles that came out of nowhere. Setbacks that made no logical sense. But now you know why. The enemy was terrified of this moment, the moment your case would be closed forever. You were being monitored, not by men, but by the divine. Every step you took was noted. Every decision you made while in pain was recorded. And God saw that even when no one was looking, you still chose to do right. Heaven works differently than earth. On earth, people judge your past. But heaven judges your potential. You were always more than what they saw. And now, heaven is making sure the world finally sees it too. God's verdict didn't just affect your spirit. It realigned your entire destiny. Plans that were on hold are now racing toward you with divine speed. What once took years will now take weeks. What once drained you will now fuel you. Archangel Michael says, I was assigned to shield you during the worst days of your life. You thought no one saw you, but I was there, every moment, guarding what you could and guard yourself. And now, the warfare shifts. It's no longer about surviving. It's about building, receiving, driving. Heaven isn't just defending you anymore. It's celebrating you. There is a divine party unfolding in the unseen. Angels rejoicing, spirits clapping, the heavens thundering with joy because you made it. Not only did you survive, you passed the test. Your enemies were so sure they'd win. They didn't just want to see you suffer. They wanted to make sure you stayed there. But when they look now, they'll be confused. Because everything they tried to bury is now growing back in gold. God is elevating you in such a way that no man can take credit. You won't have to say a word. Your life will speak so loud, even the ones who blocked you will have to admit, only God could have done that. You are about to walk into places your name was previously rejected from. But now, the same gatekeepers will invite you in. Not because they changed you, but because God changed your status. Archangel Michael says, you've been reassigned. What once hunted you will now honor you. What once rejected you will now require you. And there's more. You'll start seeing people from your past appear again. Some will come with genuine apology. Some will come with fake smiles. But don't be shaken. You have discernment now. What once confused you now reveals itself clearly. There's no need for revenge. No need to prove yourself. The shift in your atmosphere will do all the talking. Your light will expose every dark intention. Your silence will crush every whispered lie. You are not only walking into blessings, you're walking into a different realm of authority. God didn't just close the case. He promoted your spirit. You're being trusted with more now. He knows you're ready. You may feel like you're still healing. And yes, some wounds are still fresh. But God doesn't wait for perfection. He moves in readiness. You are ready enough to rise. Ready enough to reign. Ready enough to receive. The people around you will begin to say something is different about you. They won't understand it. But you will. It's the seal of divine favor. Once it's placed on you, everything in your life realigns. Your name has changed in the Spirit. You are not who you were before this message, the weight has shifted. The oil has descended. The favor has multiplied. And as this transformation continues to unfold, you must protect your peace. You've entered into a holy season. Don't let familiar voices pull you back into old cycles. What's ahead is too sacred to risk. Archangel Michael says, this moment is rare. The case is not just closed, it has become a testimony, and soon, the world will hear it through your mouth, your life, your blessings. So prepare, not with fear, but with expectation. Pack for the life you prayed for, dress for the level you've now entered. Speak with the authority you've been handed. You'll start to notice your instincts getting sharper, your dreams more vivid, your timing more precise. This is not random. This is alignment. It's a sign you've stepped into the timeline heaven always intended for you. The signs will come on billboards, in songs, in numbers, in strangers' words. Don't brush them off. These are coded confirmations meant just for you. Pay attention. Respond. Walk in them. People will try to figure you out. Let them wonder. Your life is no longer a blueprint of logic. It's a map of miracles. You are becoming the example others will point to when they say, "Look what God can do." You are about to be the first in your family to break a cycle, to rise above the curses, to write the legacy. And when it happens, don't shrink back. Stand tall. This is what you were born for. You are not stepping into luck. You are stepping into a divine reward that was always yours. It just had to wait until now, when heaven could finally say, "Case closed." If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. And now, beloved, the message has been delivered. The gates are open. The judgment has ended. Let your next breath be one of peace, power, and divine purpose. It's over. And it's just beginning. Archangel Michael says, this isn't just a victory. This is a declaration of heaven's investment in your life. The universe has restructured itself to make way for your ascension. The same energy that once resisted you is now working for you. Every door that shut in your face did so under divine instruction, not to break you, but to preserve you for the moment when your case would be cleared. What was withheld was never denial. It was protection. And now, the shield lifts and what's yours begins to flow in like a flood. The vibration around you has changed. You may feel it in your bones, your thoughts, your surroundings. The air is lighter and the heaviness is lifting because the battle in the spirit is finished. From this point forward, the conversations about you will begin to shift. Where there was once gossip, now there will be praise. Where there was once accusation, now there will be acknowledgement. You will need to defend your name. God already did. And what's more, there is a scroll being opened in heaven now with your next assignment written in golden ink. You are not meant to stay where you were emotionally, spiritually, or even geographically. At ready, movement is coming. Archangel Michael says you will be relocated emotionally, spiritually, and even physically if required for your assignment to flourish. This relocation may be subtle, or it may be sudden, but either way, it will come with clarity and provision. People who once walked ahead of you will now fall behind, not because you're racing, but because you're finally being pulled by destiny. You were walking before, but now you're being carried by divine momentum. This is the year of restoration that includes relationships that were severed unfairly, money that was stolen, years that were lost, and opportunities that were sabotaged. Everything is being recalculated in your favor. The things you thought were missed opportunities were actually stored blessings. And now that your case is closed, they're being released in clusters. Expect unusual kindness. Expect sudden clarity. Expect divine reminders that you are deeply favored. Archangel Michael says there are messages coming through people you least expect. Be alert. Heaven will speak through the most unexpected vessels, children, strangers, enemies. The words will shake your spirit and confirm your anointing. There is a person watching you from a distance who once betrayed you. They thought they won. But now they are watching your name rise. Their heart is trembling, not because they fear you, but because they feel the presence of God around you. You won't have to expose them. You won't have to confront. Heaven is already dealing with them in silence. Let God handle what's behind you while you walk boldly into what's ahead. The oil in your life has increased. What used to tire you will now energize you. What used to intimidate you will now inspire you. Because you've entered into a new spiritual frequency that only few ever reach, you are now in what heaven calls the realm of fulfillment. That's when the prophecy meets the promise. It's when the waiting ends and the manifestation begins. Not in pieces, but in power. Archangel Michael says you are in the presence of the greatest unfolding of your life. Let no one distract you. Let no voice from the past delay you. This is your moment. And even if you feel unworthy, unsure, or underprepared, step forward anyway. Heaven did not vote. Heaven appointed. You were chosen, not consulted. There's a rhythm to your life now. A cadence of favor. You'll find things aligning before you even ask. Resources will appear before you even know you need them. People will show up already willing to help. Because heaven has gone before you. You're not starting from scratch. You're beginning from a divine head start. This message is your confirmation. Your alignment. Your unfolding. Let the old things go, let the old conversations die. Let the bitterness evaporate. There is too much waiting for you to stay anchored in what wounded you. Archangel Michael says, forgive fast. Move forward quicker. You are now walking as one who carries fire from heaven. Do not waste that energy on what can't go with you. You're going to be spoken about in rooms you've never entered. Seen by eyes that once ignored you. Valued by people who never gave you a chance. Not because you begged for attention, but because you were validated by heaven. This case being closed doesn't just restore your life, it rebuilds your legacy. Your family line will shift. Generational patterns are already being broken. You'll be the one they speak of when they say that's when everything changed. And hear this clearly, it had to be you. Because only you had the strength to endure it without becoming it. Only you had the grace to carry pain without turning it into poison. God watched you bleed in silence and still pray for others. He saw you forgive people who were never sorry. He saw you honor others while they slandered you. That's why he said seal it. Bless them. Restore it all. You were never disqualified. You were being refined, Archangel Michael says, this is your divine moment of turning. What's behind is finished. What's ahead is unstoppable. So walk boldly, child of light. Walk with your shoulders back, your spirit lifted, and your heart wide open, because you are walking as one whose case is closed and whose name is now favored. And remember, it's permanent. No court can reopen it. No person can contest it. No demon can revoke it. It is sealed. Your life will never be the same again. The scroll is signed. The degree is win. The seal is set. And your new story has already begun. Dove, your case is closed. Now your crown is waiting. Dove, Archangel Michael says, listen closely, because from this moment forward, every breath you take, every step you make, and every room you walk into will carry a new vibration. You have transitioned from being someone who was merely surviving to someone who is now leading a legacy. The courtroom of heaven didn't just hear your name, it heard your soul speak. While others were shouting, accusing, gossiping, trying to hold you down, God was listening to your silence, and He found truth in it. No longer do you need to plead for understanding. No longer do you have to explain yourself to people who never truly cared. The case is closed, and because of that, you owe no one an apology for rising. Let the whispers come. Let the questions begin. Let the same people who dismissed you try to figure you out. They will never understand how you got through what was meant to destroy you, because the answer is simple: grace wrapped in fire. You were purified through pain, molded through trials, pardoned by loss but softened by love, and all of it led here, to this sacred verdict that is now echoing through time and space. It is finished. Every enemy that had your name on their lips has now lost access to your story. Every curse that tried to pass through your bloodline has now been interrupted by your obedience, and every delay that tormented your heart has now collapsed under the pressure of divine command. Archangel Michael says, the spiritual gatekeepers have been instructed to unlock what was shut for generations in your bloodline. You are walking into inheritance, not just of land or wealth, but of peace, clarity, and unshakable direction. The spiritual weight you've carried was not just yours, it was ancestral. You broke things no one before you had the strength to face. Your tears didn't just cleanse you. They healed 100 years of generational agony. The decision made about you in heaven wasn't just a verdict, it was a coronation. You are no longer walking as a survivor. You are now moving as anointed royalty. Here's a robe waiting for you, a robe of honor, of authority, and of unshakable light. You may not see it with your eyes, but the world will feel it on you. The room will quiet when you enter. The energy will shift. Because now you carry heaven's seal, you'll start noticing it in subtle way. Strangers will open their hearts to you without knowing why. People will trust you with keys and secrets, favor and opportunity. Not because of your resume, but because of your resonance. They feel your breakthrough before you speak. Your awe is no longer confusion, it is confirmation. Archangel Michael says, your timeline has split. You are no longer operating in the season of waiting. You are now functioning in the hour of reaping. The things you planted in tears are ready to be harvested in glory. Expect it. Expect sudden doors. Expect the voice of God in new tones and dimensions, through dreams, numbers, divine strangers, sudden inner urges. Don't doubt it when it comes. This is your new normal. Those who laughed at your spiritual battles will soon marvel at your visible victory. And no, your blessings won't be private. They will be public, just like your struggle once was. A difference. This time, no one can interrupt it. Because what's been released from heaven cannot be recalled by man. Some people will try to reconnect. They'll act like they've always been for you. You will feel a temptation to let them in. But pause. This new elevation requires clean space and clear minds around you. Not everyone deserves access to the throne room of your next season. Be kind, but be discerning. This level of favor attracts more than support. It attracts jealousy. But worry not, because now, your enemies will self-destruct without your involvement. Their own words will trap them. Your own bitterness will blind them. You're not their enemy. You're their mirror. You reflect everything they didn't have the courage to become. Archangel Michael says, stay grounded. Stay humble. But do not shrink. You are being seen for a reason. The light around you is not arrogance. It is assignment. There's an announcement coming soon that will confirm everything in this message. A name being mentioned. A document being sent. An unexpected invitation. A long-awaited message. Watch how it unfolds. Heaven doesn't send word without results. And what you feel in your spirit right now, that trembling, that fire, that emotional stirring, it's not anxiety. It's alignment. Heaven is celebrating. Earth is responding. Hell is trembling. Because someone they thought would die in delay has now become a divine detonator for breakthrough. You. Yes, you. You are the answer to someone's cry, the proof that pain can produce power. The evidence that injustice cannot outlast divine favor. The case is not just closed. It is now a testimony of resurrection. You rose without revenge. You moved forward without permission. You healed without help. And for that, God has lifted you without limit. This is not hype. This is not emotionalism. This is prophetic evidence. The case is sealed. The past is settled. The future is open. And heaven has moved on your behalf, and remember, once more, in case your heart needs this last gentle confirmation, if you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks. With contributions of up to $1.20. Now breathe. Receive. Love. The war is over. Your light is permanent. And your crown is already glowing. Go forward now. Heaven is watching. And smiling. Archangel Michael says, this moment is not just sacred, it is historical. In the heavenly records, this hour has been marked. It's not just a day in your life. It's the dividing line between who you were and who you will now become. You are stepping into a reality that has been hovering just above your reach for years. It waited patiently while you cried, while you doubted, while you healed until now. Because only now have you become the person strong enough to hold what was always yours. Everything you went through, every betrayal, every silence, every delay, it wasn't punishment, it was preparation. You weren't being forgotten. You were being fortified. And now, you are impenetrable. No weapon formed against you can work, not just because heaven blocks it, but because you've grown beyond it. You are no longer easily shaken. Your roots are deep now. Your spirit is anchored. Your peace can't be disturbed by noise anymore. Archangel Michael says, the authority you now carry is dangerous, to darkness, to deception, to everything that once had power over you. Be ready for unexpected elevation. Someone who once overlooked you is about to publicly honor you. Their heart has been stirred in secret. And soon, their mouth will be used to announce your name. They won't even understand why they're drawn to you. But you'll know. That's the favor moving. You'll walk into a place, and things will begin to align. Chairs pulled out for you, doors unlocked, faces smiling, because the atmosphere recognizes you even before people do. Your destiny is no longer hidden. It is active. You'll find that places you were once rejected from will now request your presence. The very hands that pushed you away will now reach to pull you in. Not because you chained you for them, but because you finally chained you for you. The best part? You don't need to do anything more, you don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to strive. You've already been chosen, called, cleared, and crowned. Now just walk in it. Archangel Michael says, the divine scroll has been read. The courtroom has been dismissed, and the trumpet is sounding in the spiritual realm, announcing that you have entered your era of manifestation. Let your fears go now. Let the need to explain disappear. Let the memory of what you lost be replaced by the promise of what's rising. This is your time. This is your moment. This is your miracle. And to those who once doubted you, let them watch. Let them wonder. Let them ask questions, but do not let them delay you, because now you walk with divine acceleration. You don't owe them a response. The favor on your life will say it all. Be gracious, but be firm. This is not the time to be distracted. This is the season to build, to receive, to restore. You'll know exactly who's meant to walk with you and who is not. Trust the inner signal. Your discernment is now sharpened to a heavenly degree. The next 33 days will carry an unusual energy. Pay attention to sudden urges, divine encounters, and instinctive decisions that seem out of character. That's not confusion. That's heaven recalibrating your steps. You will move without hesitation. You will speak without fear. You will receive without guilt. And every time your mind tries to question it, every time your heart wonders, do I really deserve this? Remind yourself of this truth. You didn't just survive a storm, you survived a sentence. And the court has cleared you completely. So now, step forward, not as a victim, not as a prisoner of your past, but as the one heaven selected, defended, and raised. Archangel Michael says, from this moment, the light on your life cannot be dimmed again. You are seen. You are known. You are protected. And as the final line is drawn under your case file in heaven, let this be your final confirmation. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. Now go. Go into the world carrying your seal, your fire, and your freedom. It is done. It is final. It is unstoppable. The case is closed. Your crown is visible. And the next chapter will be your loudest one yet. The fire crown Archangel Michael says, do not underestimate the divine weight of what has just been completed. You may still feel like the same person on the outside, but the spiritual world does not see you the same way anymore. You are now recognized, revered, and ranked. Yes, ranked, because your spirit has ascended. Your name in the spirit realm now carries authority. No longer a soul in battle, you are now a soul in command. Your light has become law. Every battle you fought, every tear you hid from the world, every lonely night where it felt like even the sky turned its back, those were not forgotten. They were witnessed. They were recorded not to condemn you, but to qualify you. That's why the case was closed. Because heaven found no fault strong enough to outweigh your heart. The whispers behind your back have lost their power. The ones who tried to rewrite your truth have lost their voice. Because when God speaks a final word, no tongue can undo it. Archangel Michael says, you are now a force, not just a name. You carry evidence. You carry proof. Your presence alone will convict lies and reveal hidden things. You won't need to fight anymore. Your presence will do it for you. You'll walk into places and things will begin to shift. Not because of who's with you, but because of what's on you. Your words will hit different. Your silence will be louder. Your peace will be disruptive to chaos. Heaven has given you command over peace, power, and breakthrough. People will start asking, how did they do it? But they won't understand you didn't do it. God did it through you. And now that you're free, things that were frozen in your life are starting to thaw. Your aims are breathing again. Finances are aligning. Lost opportunities are circling back. This is your time. You'll be surprised by the speed. The connections that once took years to form will now happen in moments. Divine acceleration has been placed on your path like wind behind your back. You'll feel it lifting you. Archangel Michael says, don't shrink. Don't question it. Don't apologize for the overflow. You suffered long enough. It's time to receive loud. The world will try to keep you humble in ways that actually make you small, but heaven says, stand tall. You are not arrogant. You are anointed. This anointing will draw both light and darkness to you. But worry not. You're surrounded, you're armored. You are walking with warrior angels at your side. Any platform against you will dissolve before it begins. And listen, there's someone reading this now who feels unworthy. You think because of your past, you've disqualified yourself. But the truth is your pain has become your passport. And your past has become your platform. God chose you because of what you endured, not in spite of it. The shame you carry, heaven has replaced it with authority. A guilt that haunts you. It has no legal ground anymore. The case is closed. The blessings coming are not just for you. They will pour through you into your family, your legacy, your generation. You are not just being raised. You are becoming a pillar for others to lean on. Archangel Michael says, you are a lighthouse now. You will attract the lost, the broken, and the chosen who forgot who they were. Shine. Without fear. Without drinking. You were made to be seen. And now, in the background, the trumpets of heaven are still sounding. Not in chaos, but in celebration. They are singing your arrival. The long-awaited moment has come, and now, even time itself will obey your movement. You'll notice it time stretching when you need more of it. People slowing down to serve you. Hearts opening without resistance. Because you've entered your assigned vibration. The one designed for restoration, not repetition. The old cycle is shattered. The revolving door is gone. You are no longer going in circles, you're going in trajectory. Forward, upward, divine. Your story is no longer being rewritten, it's being revealed. The pages are open. The light is shining. The ink is flowing. And your name. It's written in bold. In the language only heaven can speak. You will wake up soon and feel the shift in your chest. A peace that surpasses understanding, a boldness you didn't know you had. That is heaven confirming. You are no longer under judgment, you are walking in justice. Archangel Michael says, you were built for this. Crafted in shadows. Polished in pain. Prepared in silence. And now you are being presented, and this final moment, is what all the warfare was about. You're not just a person. You're a Mu of God. You are prophecy wrapped in flesh. So go now. Go with fire in your soul, go with confidence in your step. Go with clarity in your voice. The world is waiting to witness what heaven already sealed. Your case is closed. Your calling is active. Your crown is ready, and as one last holy whisper from the heavens resounds, if you wish to express your support further, and now walk, beloved soul. The courtroom is empty. The verdict is final, the throne is watching. And your divine unveiling has begun.